I'm sure you've already looked for a Harry Potter podcast everywhere.
Not in the reserved section. I said no. I said, you know what? Guys, now you say that I speak correctly. Now I wanted to go back to my roots. Today I wanted to return to my roots. I said, I'm going back so you can say that. But do you know why I speak incorrectly? Because I imitate Hermione. Then I revealed the big secret, that Hermione doesn't say no in the restricted section. Got it? In the dubbing. So it was a way to honor Hermione Granger, which ended up becoming a mistake. And I said,
now everything is explained. Now it all makes sense.
But then the imitation is wrong too, because the tone, the intonation she uses is different.
That's true. I don't know what was going on in my head.
But look, that's part of our podcast's heritage. I want you to keep it, please.
I'll keep it.
I think. Okay, all right.
For the tribute to our dubbing.
But now, if you try to speak incorrectly, you can't. You'll just end up speaking naturally.
That's right.
The guy got kind of wooden,
There used to be something natural about making mistakes. Now the mistakes feel forced.
Rehearsed. No, it won't work. We're starting this episode here at the Leaky Cauldron. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Give us a like. Leave your comment here with your Friday company. And if you're listening on Spotify or other audio platforms, what do we do, Chigo?
Rate us 5 stars. It's always very important to rate us. Leave your comment both on YouTube and on Spotify. Support us by liking the video. And of course, the QR code for the Berador moment is always on the screen, so you can send your message to us, which will be answered at the end of the episode. And today we come here with a very important mission.
Today we're going to be lawyers, man. Yeah.
We're going to talk about characters who were wronged.
Let's do it. Wronged.
In the Harry Potter movie, all of them.
All of them. I was going to say exactly that. All of them. All of them.
But I think others, which we'll get into and talk about, others even got more of a role, more prominence than the character in the books. Yeah.
I think the main one, I evaluate not just by the character's time, like screen time, right? Because of course, Harry has more screen time. That doesn't mean he was a well-used character or that he wasn't treated unfairly. Harry himself. I think I'm going to start with this one. With the main character. Harry was treated unfairly. Yes, in the movies. Because his whole personality was undermined. Harry is a sarcastic guy. Sometimes he has a certain arrogance. You get it? That's part of his personality.
We don't see him being bold, but there are some of Harry's comebacks that are amazing. When he loses his fear of his aunt and uncle there.
Because in the first book, he's that kid who, is mistreated. And everything. When he finds out he's a wizard.
Man, no. Then he starts to go and the game changes a bit.
The game changes.
Harry, he's a character in the book starting from prisoner. But I think you really see this bigger side of Harry a lot in Order of the Phoenix. But there are some very famous passages. You don't have to call me sir.
Professor.
Harry says that to Snape. For those of you who have never read Harry Potter, there are a lot of cool scenes like that. Harry, he's that kind of character. That's why people say when there are those videos of the Rebelde voice actor that it's the personality of Harry from the books. Because Harry is kind of... Did you see the video, man? You guys talk about that video. Sorry, it's the one with Harry and Seamus Finnegan, and they swap the dubbing. Your mother is a tramp. Have you seen this video? I said, man, but was it really like that in the movie and I forgot? Because that's really... No, Herbie doesn't have it. No.
I know in Harry, rating over 18.
I don't know if the Harry from the books, I'm even like that jerk, but man, I said, damn, but that's not very Harry.
No, yeah, the Harry from the books is really cool, He has a really, really strong personality.
He's really pissed off,
And I like that. Even before he finds out he's a wizard, there's that part where he snaps back at Dudley. Even though, well, Dudley punches him. The guys hold him and Dudley punches him. His glasses are all taped up because he was always getting beaten up by Dudley. And even so, he still messed with Dudley,
There's a deleted scene where he's trying on school robes and says something like, I'm not going to leave.
It looks like old elephant skin.
Man, that's what I want to see.
Exactly.
It's Harry looking at Dudley and saying Dudley's school uniform looks like old elephant skin, seriously.
That's really good. I really want to see those moments like of Harry being sassy, of Harry, because that's his defense. Man, he's all skinny and scrawny. He didn't know he could do magic. Things happened without him being able to explain it. So, sarcasm is his weapon. And then, man, there's a part I really like in Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry's gang, which is him asking Walter to sign the Hogsmeade permission form.
Hogsmeade,
And then Walter says, "Why would I do that?" Then Harry says, "I don't know, right? Guida is coming. Maybe I'll forget the story we agreed on, that I study at the Muggle school. Maybe I can talk to her about Hogwarts."
In short, he's already taking advantage.
Right? He kind of threatens his uncle, you know? And his uncle Walter is like, "You wouldn't do that."
It's like the Dursleys never. They don't know how to deal with this information that he's a wizard. So they live like that. Yeah, Harry, from that moment on, it's the same, right? We mentioned I can't use the wand. Magic this summer. But both of them.
The Dursleys know that. They don't know that. Exactly. So, for me, he's already a character who belongs on this list of characters who got done dirty, you know?
Not because of screen time, but because of the completely changed personality. Because man, let's be honest. So, from my point of view, it's clear that everyone can have their own.
But for me, the Harry in the movies is kind of dumb, you know? He's a goofball, and most of the time it feels like he's just lucky. That he does things, but just by luck.
And I don't just mean that in a mocking way. I mean it from the instinctive side of Harry.
Right, from his side, from his skillful side, you know? Like, sometimes even from the side of doing something like, "Do I believe in this? Is this what I'm going to do?" Of being persistent, you know? And that wasn't shown in the movies. It wasn't, you know? So I miss that side of his personality in general, you know?
Yeah, the movie scripts, they went in a direction that I think we need to talk about in today's episode. Like, for example, Steve Kloves, who was the screenwriter for the movies at the time, he had his preferences. Yes, he had his favorite characters. Characters that should get more attention. Because let me give the example of Hermione herself, okay? Hermione herself was favored by Steve Kloves, yes. He would add more scenes for Hermione because he really liked the character. But you can do that without necessarily reducing others, yeah. That's what happened with Ron. Ron Weasley was another character who was completely wronged. Rupert Grint, he's wonderful. Yeah, I really like Rupert. I think he played Ron like, man, it's perfect. His Ron Weasley is pure perfection. Yeah, I think he manages to be brave. That scene with the horses, the chess and Philosopher's Stone is really good. It shows a bit of that courage. However, there's a big risk when you talk about Ron's humor without making the character seem like his whole life is just making jokes. Making jokes about it, and I'm really concerned. Of course, it's something I'll criticize if the HBO series keeps doing this, which is treating Ron only as a comic relief in every scene.
Yeah. Ron has moments in the movies that you can count on one hand the moments when he's not being funny, you know? Like, there's the chess moment, you know? Chamber of Secrets, yeah.
Man, it is.
There's no moment when he isn't funny, even in the tense part of the movie. When they find the basilisk's skin, they enter the Chamber of Secrets. He hits Gilderoy's head with a rock. It's funny.
Yeah. Because I think something happened to Ron in Chamber of Secrets because that's the movie where Rupert makes the most faces and expressions. Yeah,
Expressive.
He's very expressive in Chamber of Secrets.
A lot. And like, I love that part with the spiders. I think it's funny. It's really funny, man. He really shined there. Yeah.
But I think that at that moment, maybe they must have thought, wow, this kid does these things well, so let's give him more funny stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. That could be it too. I agree.
And then, the moment that I at least can remember as a really tense moment for Rony is when he gets into a fight with Harry in Deathly Hallows. By the way, that's a really good scene too. In Goblet of Fire, when he gets upset because he's a little jealous of Harry, right? But, man, after that, it's moments like these. So you see, there are 3 moments we can talk about with Rony. Like, wow, the most serious, the most, you know? It's true.
Which is in Sorcerer's Stone. At the moment of the chess attack, you know? That's the part of the
fight in Deathly Hallows he left.
From the Deathly Hallows fight.
In the Goblet, destroying the Horcrux too.
Destroying the Horcrux, do you get it? There are only a few moments when he shows his true essence. He is, yes, in the book, a funny character. It doesn't mean he's not. He is. But I think they ended up exaggerating too much.
And something that really bothers me is taking his lines and giving them to Hermione.
Because with Hermione, here's what happens, right?
She is a muggle-born, right?
As smart as she is, eager to learn, devouring books to know things, she arrived at Hogwarts knowing, for sure, more than any other first-year student. That's undeniable.
She couldn't possibly know some things about the wizarding world that only come from living in it. In the movies, she explains them.
Man, the definition of Muggleborn being explained like that by, I think in the scene at Hagrid's hut, there's something that's not said by Ron, right? It's her. She's the one who knows, you know?
In the movie, she's the one who says it and gets offended, right?
And she's the one who says it. Wow, that's the worst insult for someone like me.
She shouldn't know that.
She doesn't know because she hasn't experienced it.
No, if it were a theory, fine, like she knows I read this in Hogwarts, a history.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, she read it. She is the spells. She read the theories of all the spells. Fine. But this thing about blood prejudice, that's experience. It's lived experience. And Ron would be able to explain it very well.
Ron explains it in the book, right? Yeah, it's Ron.
There's a scene I don't like in Order of the Phoenix, which is when Ron says they're there in Dumbledore's army. And Ron kind of says, I'll go easy on you. Yeah, you know? It's like you're adding a layer to the character that isn't needed. Another thing like you mentioned in that scene where Snape says, don't you ever get tired of being a know-it-all?
And then Ron says,
He's right, yeah, in the movie. And in the book, he actually gets detention for defending Hermione.
exactly, man.
That takes away a bit from what the character is because he defends Hermione, he gets detention for it, he likes her, he stands up for his friend, and in the movie, it just looks like he's making fun of her.
They're always like cat and mouse in the movie, right? Yeah, it seems like they're always cat and mouse. Yeah, for me, Ron is also one of the most wronged characters, especially because so many of his lines were cut. Like that part in Prisoner in the Shrieking Shack. If you want to kill Harry,
You'll have to kill us too.
yeah, in the movie, it's Hermione who steps in and says, no, if you want to kill Harry, you'll have to kill us too. But it's Ron who's hurt. And he still gets up, and then Sirius even tells him, hey, sit down or your leg will get worse, you know? And like, they're all confused. So it also removes a layer from him, you know? And then they keep adding unnecessary things, like him joking around all the time, him making jokes, him going against Hermione in situations where he doesn't actually go against her. Because, honestly, let's be real, it's not necessary, it's not something that's needed, because it's already in the book. In the book, there are moments when he goes against Hermione, when he finds her annoying. There's no need to make these things up.
Exactly. Honestly, I don't remember. It's been a long time since I read Goblet of Fire. I don't remember if there's a scene where she says that Crumb invited her. That scene where Snape smacks him on the head might happen somewhere else in the book, but I don't know. I don't particularly remember. But it's also a scene that, you know, he says she kind of doesn't believe anyone would invite her. But in the book, you don't really care about that.
No, in the book he doesn't either. He doesn't believe it. He doesn't buy it.
We're talking about character injustice. We're talking about the trio. But in Hermione's case, actually, she wasn't wronged. Actually, I think she was really benefited.
But I believe that even this can be seen as an injustice to the character, for the character's development.
So people would think, you know what I think? We watched The Cursed Child. You watched it too, right? Man, Rose is really annoying. Yeah. And she's a lot like what Hermione would be.
Exactly.
Do you get it? Hermione just...
But with a lot more Q, right? Yes.
Wow, because Hermione really in the books, she actually gets annoying.
She's bossy. Bossy. She is like the way, man, the first scene when she arrives on the Express, the first thing she says, she had a bossy tone. She's bossy. She is unyielding. Did you get it? In many matters, but...
Like, fool, I don't know what you... I think you have to have a little... No, not necessarily, but I don't know. Approach with humility. Like, if she doesn't know. It's just that I think she held on so much to the theory because she studied, because she did everything, that she came a little more, yes,
For sure. Yeah.
confident.
Yeah, so she's a character who has a lot of that, you know?
Maybe, even because she was Muggle-born, she ends up being bossy because, I don't know, she wanted so much to prove herself.
Since, like, well, she didn't come from a wizard family, so, well, she has to study, so she ends up being kind of bossy about it. It's really just her personality to be bossy. And there are several moments with Hermione in the books that are really annoying. Like, I think one of the moments that annoys me the most about her. Of course, there are many moments when she's brilliant and I really love her. But there are some specific moments with her, for example, in Deathly Hallows, when Harry goes down, like, in Half-Blood Prince. When Harry is saying, Draco is a Death Eater. Draco is a Death Eater. It happened. He's a Death Eater. And Hermione is like, no way. You're imagining things. Ron, too. Like, no, that's not it. But Hermione is really like that. And Ron, so he doesn't go against her, says, no, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it.
Something that
Harry is right, you know? Like, that really annoys me.
And they don't know Harry from years ago.
Exactly.
Come on, Harry has been through a lot at Hogwarts, so why not trust his friend a little?
Exactly. It doesn't hurt.
Like, is it really that hard after 6 years to trust your friend?
And also, Deathly Hallows, when they understand the whole thing about the Hallows, there was a wand, right after they go to Luna's father's house, Hermione is like, no, Harry, nothing. That doesn't exist. Those things don't exist. That doesn't exist, Harry. It doesn't exist. I have the invisibility cloak. Yeah, the stone, Dumbledore wanted to leave. Leave those things for me, you know? And then Hermione is like, she's crazy.
Right.
From Modo, right? Hermione's like, no, that doesn't exist. There's no reason for it to exist. I don't know what. And in the end, then Harry says, I am a descendant of the brother with the cloak, of Ignotus. And Hermione goes, no, Harry, that's not it. And like, it really is, you know? And she
kept calling it a children's tale.
Right? Yeah, she doesn't want to admit she's wrong, you know? Like, that kind of thing. So those things aren't in the character in the movie.
Hermione in the movie is shaped to be perfect, smart, knows everything. Right. There's no moment with Hermione in the movies where it's like that, where someone watching who doesn't know the character would criticize her. You know, like, wow, she did something bad. She was rude. I don't know. She was, yeah. You know, there isn't anything like that.
There isn't, but there is in the book.
Yeah, in the Philosopher's Stone, that's it. It's going to happen in the series too. There's no way to avoid it because there's that whole thing with the troll, the bathroom attack. And you already start to feel a bit sorry for Hermione because the boys, they really give her a hard time, right? And then, look, now Lavender, who has just been cast, is going to be played by an actress. Hermione is there crying in the bathroom.
Exactly.
So, and I can already see Bella doing really well, man. Wow. And it's really hard. I mean, I've never seen Dominic's acting. I've never seen Alistair's acting. But I feel once again that Hermione is going to steal the show.
Man, but it's because it's weird, right? But it's a character that's already been built up. Hermione is already very beloved, you know? I mean, who doesn't like Hermione, right? You know? Hermione is...
Among young adult female literary characters, she's one of the most beloved.
She's very beloved. I love Hermione. I mean, I really, really love her. I do get annoyed with her in the book sometimes because of her. But that's really what the book is supposed to convey. That's how we're supposed to feel, right? Like, she's super... Well, for example, one thing I really agree with Hermione about in the books is when she's always like refuting Luna all the time. Because, man, Luna in the books is really annoying, man. Yeah, that's something...
She did a really great job because Luna in the movies, I think she's kind of spacey, but well, that's Luna in the books.
Yeah, she's spacey, right? Ivana Lynch, she played Luna really well. Yes. Movie Luna has a sweetness about her. Something that makes us like her right away too. But Luna in the books, since it's all about dialogue, she would show up a lot like this. Man, in a tense moment, she would come in and like, no, it's because this has to do with something weird. Yeah, totally random.
Sometimes people are tense, then someone comes in and wants to exactly create meaning and you're like, no.
And there are even moments when Harry is really rude to her and to Ginny, back in Order of the Phoenix, you know? When they're about to go to the Ministry. That's something that's being built. It's a relationship that's being built. It's not a relationship where they just show up and they're friends, like in the movie. It's something that's being built. So, there's Harry. Like, they learn to like Luna. And we, in the books, learn to like Luna too. But the movies do something that, well, that's unquestionable. Yeah. The movies do one thing, quite simply. They make people fall in love with the characters right away, you know? People just look at the character, even with only a few appearances, like Luna, who is a very striking character. And then, people already fall in love, you know?
But in the book, I personally found Luna really annoying.
Really annoying. Later on, obviously, I started to grow fond of her, you know? But her beginning, her introduction, her saying all those random things, it's really irritating. And I like those kinds of characters. And she's another character who, to me, is treated unfairly.
Because Luna, there's a lot of Luna in the books.
There's a lot of Luna. And I think that there are moments when people are cruel to her, when people, make fun of her. In the movie, that's not so characteristic. We have her saying, no, yeah, they hid my things. That's it, like she was without shoes. They hid my things. And that's it, you know? There really aren't moments. There's no moment of Hermione herself being kind of a jerk to Luna, you know?
She makes a face in the carriage when Luna appears.
It's Dillua. I mean, Luna. Ginny has always been really good friends with Luna from the very beginning.
And the movie doesn't make it very clear.
Not very clear.
Luna is in the same year as them?
They joined in the same year.
It's surreal, isn't it? They joined in the same year. Do you think the movie, the series, will only introduce Luna only in the 5th season again?
I think she could already come in during the 2nd, at least at the sorting, and be developed in the 5th. Man.
It would be cool, but I doubt they'll do that. I don't think they'll bring in characters who already have their own spotlight. They were made to be introduced at a certain point in the story, unlike Cedric, who already is in the book. But Luna isn't mentioned in any of the books before Order of the Phoenix.
That's true.
Isn't it?
So she is, but she's not. It's true, she's not mentioned. There was a character who would be her, which is that Lily Moon at the sorting. Wow, not even in the first book. But then it's Lily Moon. But then it stopped being her. J.K. Rowling changed it. And then Luna Lovegood came in with Ginny in the 2nd year.
I think the HBO series has to do that every year, guys. Even when Harry isn't physically there or not necessarily.
Since we're showing the Sorting Hat ceremony, right? Every year.
Show the Sorting Hat ceremony as a way to introduce the new characters of the season. Yes, that would be interesting. You know? For example, Colin Creevey there in the Chamber of Secrets. Show him being sorted. Yeah.
I think it's him. It would be cool. Cool, because...
Even if Harry's not there, right?
Because they lose, yeah.
They lose because of the Whomping Willow, everything. So, but the series has this possibility. It does, of course. And it has this goal of showing different points of view. Hermione wasn't there. Hermione was there in the Great Hall. Yes. So, she saw the ceremony. Showing a little bit there doesn't...
You don't even need to show the ceremony focused on the ceremony. Like, show Hermione worried, watching them not arrive in the background. Colin Creevey, Gryffindor, you know? Perfect.
Perfect, that's it.
You know, it's something we can kind of work with.
Guys, from the trio here, Harry, Ron, and Hermione, leave down below in the comments who you think was really the most wronged in the movie adaptation. Do you have a favorite? Do you think a certain character was wronged? Leave it down below in the comments. If you're listening on Spotify, leave it below too. Personally, I think Neville Longbottom is one of the coolest characters in Harry Potter. It's Neville. Neville, man, I think his story was really poorly told in the movies. And I'm not here just to keep talking about cuts, but I think that if you finish watching Order of the Phoenix, the movie, you think Neville's parents died. Yes.
Yeah, I did. I recorded it yesterday. An episode for Calderon about things the movies leave unresolved. And then, man, I talk about exactly that. When you watch the movies, you have no idea what happened to Neville's parents, and it feels like they died.
Yeah, he says it like this. They were tortured by the Cruciatus curse, and he mentions it there in Dumbledore's army, and it's a really quick scene. But okay, we find out in Goblet of Fire that it's a torture curse, But until then, he could have implied they tortured them, so did they kill them? Didn't they kill them? Exactly.
What happened
to them?
And then, Sirius even says, right? When he shows the photo, they had a fate worse than death, if you want to know. Tell us what fate, man. So, what fate is that?
So, don't leave it implied, because the scene where Harry sees Mr. Weasley being attacked by Nagini and they go to St. Mungo's is really cool.
It's a scene, man. It's a really sad scene.
Man. And it's moving. It's going to be a scene in the series that has the potential to be one of the best of the season, because we're getting an episode dedicated to Neville's past.
Neville's, yes.
You see his parents there not recognizing who he is, man.
He's really wronged. Really wronged too. A lot. He's a character who's always been portrayed as a fool.
No, the movie doesn't explore his insecurity. It doesn't show how he was afraid because he didn't see himself as brave.
Man, in Chamber of Secrets, he thought he was going to be the basilisk's victim. Even though he's from a pure-blood family, he thought he was going to be the basilisk's victim because he didn't think he was good enough.
And that comes from childhood, from family, all those things that aren't planned. Actually, I'm even wondering if his grandmother... It would be really cool if his grandmother showed up at King's Cross. It would in the HBO series. Because it shows her giving some, not a scolding.
But yeah, he lost the toad.
You know? I think it would be really cool in the movie.
They put her in the background with him but gave her no lines or anything.
Nothing at all, right? And it's a character that I feel has a really hard past. It's very sad. It's Neville's story. And they could have explored that past a little better, yes, to give the character a bit more development.
Exactly, and even the character's development, right? In the movie, it's very shallow.
That he wants to prove himself.
In the movie, it's very shallow. Man, in Order of the Phoenix, after the Death Eaters escape Neville, he put so much effort into Dumbledore's army.
He was, like, Harry is describing it there, right? Neville was the one who evolved the most among all the members of the army.
He just didn't master the spell there faster than Hermione. Like,
man, he improved the most, I remember. You get it? And when he got to Deathly Hallows, he goes through Aberforth's portrait at the Hog's Head, and it shows Neville with long hair all messed up.
Hurt, yeah, man.
Does he appear in the movie? He does, but once again, there's not enough time to show how important he was during the time Harry wasn't around, considering...
Man, you know what the series could show? Him, Ginny, and Luna breaking into Snape's office to steal the Sword of Gryffindor.
No way. Like, we only know about it. We only hear about it, right? In that conversation, Harry overhears between Gino Thomas and Tonks's father, where they're on the run.
So, it's really cool for us to hear that, you know?
That scene, I don't know if it's in the book, the one where he wakes up and he's got a goofy look on his face in Deathly Hallows before killing Nagini. Another silly scene, you know? Yeah, because it's like he's completely defeated. He wakes up not knowing where he is. A humorous scene that, for me, wasn't needed in that tense moment of the movie. He's just there, with the spell flying right next to him, you know?
All hell breaking loose, and he's waking up because he was stunned.
But, like, it's another character with huge potential. It is. If they know how to make the most of it now in the HBO series, and the HBO series will be proof that there are a lot of great characters, and you'll want to see a little bit of each if they know how to explore them. Yeah. Right? If you think about Gryffindor characters, Dean Thomas himself, who we've barely talked about, right?
No, Gino too. He's Gino. He's a completely overlooked character in the movies.
Yeah, he must have what? 4 lines in the movie?
Right? Man, he's a completely overlooked character in the movies. And his background story is really cool. You know? About his father? Yeah, man. In Deathly Hallows, he doesn't go back to Hogwarts because he's afraid of being hunted for thinking he was Muggle-born, right? His father was killed by Death Eaters, though he believed his father had abandoned his mother. And his mother was a Muggle, right? And then, man, we have Gino.
But he actually finds out that his father...
He doesn't find out. I don't know if he finds out. Okay, I don't know if he finds out. And then, suddenly he shows up there in the basement, trapped, right?
Like, was that revealed after the...
That's right. It was something that was in the Chamber of Secrets book. Yeah, along with Nearly Headless Nick's story. But the editor cut it. Look at that. Told them to cut it.
Because, like, it was kind of too much in the story. It wasn't necessary. It didn't lead anywhere. So, it was taken out.
Then, later, it was published as an extra, right? Uh-huh.
So, actually, we could do an episode here on Session Reservada talking about these texts, right? I think it would be really cool. Yeah, texts that were released, facts that were only revealed after the books.
I already think it's a really cool topic.
It's a really cool topic for us. It shows Umbridge's and Lockhart's backstories. Yes, there are a lot of texts here, guys. A lot. J.K. Rowling wrote them. At the time when Potter lived there were still these unpublished texts written by the author. And, man, it's something that I also question myself about a lot. Like, not talking about the author's controversies, but she really hasn't written about anything else, right? Yeah. Her last unpublished text about Harry Potter was the Quidditch World Cup in 2014, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Then came the text before Fantastic Beasts, right? Those from 2016.
That's right. Okay, that's it. Yeah, and the reveal of the magic schools around the world, right? That's it. I think it was a bit of all that, right?
It was in 2016.
It was 2016. We're talking about 10 years ago. 10 years, the last brand new reveal. Or because she also stopped tweeting and answering fans' questions on social media, because some of her answers were kind of turning into a joke in articles and all that, right? So it ended there.
With all the no's, people end up every day. Nah, J.K. Rowling reveals I don't know what. Yeah. Even though it was something she hadn't even revealed.
Yeah. And J.K. Rowling, back in 2002, 2001, 2003, she was actively involved in partnership with the fan sites, right? The fan sites guys had podcasts like, for example, if J.K. Rowling came here to sit and chat with us about events from the series, right? So she was very actively involved in that. She had a really strong connection with the fandom. And I think that Twitter, in this case, she also used Twitter as a way to maintain that relationship.
Her own website, right? She used it there. And there was a lot of stuff. Man, those Daily Prophet newsletters from 1998, 1999, 2000. There's a lot of stuff. There are characters who were introduced there before they appeared in the book, you know? Yeah, it's really cool.
I miss new stuff, to be honest. Then people will say, but what about Cursed Child? Okay, guys, that happened in 2016 too, 10 years ago. That explains it. There's a big theory about her, in quotes, giving up on publishing new things after the reaction to Cursed Child. Could it be? Because I think it was a blow. I saw some of her interviews when she was promoting the play. And the play is a worldwide success, of course. It makes millions. But I feel like it was the first negative reception in the Harry Potter universe, you know? And I don't know if there's any regret. I'm not talking about financially. Yeah, I'm talking about regret for having done it, for having approved that story.
And I don't understand. And it's her universe. Who am I to say what's right and what's wrong? That's true. Of course. But as a fan, I think it was shooting herself in the foot for her to just say, it's canon.
She could have just not done that, right?
She could have said, look, no, this is the universe of the play. It's a universe, you know? Like, it's a thing.
I just thought it made sense for the play.
A story, but it's, you know what it is.
Kaka, it's a really big revelation to say that Voldemort has a daughter and to say that's not canon, you know? It's a really big revelation that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, no. And honestly, I still feel a bit upset to believe that she approved this. Yeah.
No. You know what it is? You know what I feel about J.K. Rowling? She has a personality that seems like she doesn't like to be contradicted. That's it, you know? That's it. So like her universe, when it comes to her universe, she doesn't like to be contradicted. So like I said, that's it.
She stands by her words until the end, even if they contradict something she said before.
Because I won't change my mind, yeah.
It's something like that. So, I don't know. I don't know, right? That's just my perception. I'm not saying that's how it is. Yeah, of course. It's just the way I see it. And I could be wrong, but that's how I feel about it. When asked if it was canon, she replied, no, it's canon.
It's just that at the time you needed to sell it. Obviously everyone knew it was going to be a success, but there was some doubt about the story. There was some doubt like, am I going to pay for a ticket to see this story? So I think she needed to say it was canon because everyone was selling it as a continuation of Harry Potter.
Could it have been? Yeah.
Like the continuation, the 8th story, 19 years later. But anyway, I think we've already talked about the Cursed Child. Cursed. I won't go much further either, but what I really miss are new stories, news that expands a bit on the development, of course.
No, I loved it. In fact, there are 3 books that I really like, which are those Hogwarts stories. Have you seen them? Hogwarts stories.
Yeah, Hogwarts stories, power, politics, and Peeves the Poltergeist.
They're written texts. It's a compilation of texts.
Okay. Hogwarts stories. I forgot the names now, but they have one that's pastimes. Not what? Perilous pastimes. Not what? Dubious pastimes. It's really cool. There are, like, texts from Minerva, texts from Lupin, texts about werewolves, time turners. A lot of things. There are 3 little digital books. They were released by Pottermore in 2016 too. Really cool.
Yeah, her dream actually at the time she was writing the books was to make an encyclopedia afterwards, right? Do you remember that guy who did it and got sued? No, you don't remember that. At the time of, I think it was the people from that site, Electric with Lexicon something.
Yeah, I know. Harry Potter lexicon.
At the time, she even took this guy to court. Really? In court? Why? Because she always made it clear that she wanted to make an encyclopedia. Yes. Discussing these character stories, though, I'm unsure if it was in 2006 or 2005. This guy announced a Harry Potter encyclopedia. That turned into a court case. Yeah, so he was going to make a compilation of everything he had, right, from the website. Yeah.
One thing is to make something available for everyone. It's another thing to make something to sell, especially when it's a registered trademark.
And he already said he was going to do that,
Exactly.
right? So, but then I think Pottermore was a way she found to publish these texts that she probably had back when she was writing the books or the backstory of each character. Yes. But in the end, 10 years without content, right?
Another character. Now going back to the wrong characters. I like that as we talk, we end up touching on other topics. It's really natural. But going back to the characters, for me, the one who's really wronged is Bartow Crouch Jr.
Bartow Crouch Jr.?
Man, his story is simply cut from the movies. He's just the crazy guy from the center who comes from Hogwarts.
Who suddenly shows up there.
He's the random crazy guy who invades Hogwarts and was there like, wow, I helped Voldemort come back. How did he get there? Why did he get there?
And wasn't Bartow Crouch the story that he was the first, which is a trick question, that he was the first wizard who... You ask people, who was the first wizard to escape from Azkaban?
Everyone says Sirius.
They say Sirius Black, but it was actually Bartholomew Bartow Crouch Jr.
Yeah, he was smuggled out, right?
Tell me, remind me about his story.
Bartow Crouch Jr.'s story goes like this. When Bartow Crouch Sr. was head of the Department of Magical Law Enforcement.
Was he close to Snape's group, right? Did he study? Was he like a few years above Snape? Crouch Jr.?
No, he was younger.
Younger than Snape?
Younger than Snape, yeah. He was about 18 years old when he was arrested there at the time.
1981, you know? Yeah.
What happened is he was arrested, right? The father was... Barty Crouch Sr. was the favorite to take over the Ministry of Magic because he held the number 2 position. Right. Which is the head of the Department of Magical Law Enforcement. Right. Above that, there's only the minister. And then, he fought against the dark arts. He went after the Death Eaters, so much so that he allowed the use of unforgivable curses at the time. Are we talking about Bartow Crouch? Yes, by the Aurors. Okay. And then, when his son got caught, like, wow, that was a real blow.
In his career, especially during the Goblet of Fire.
A blow to his career. Then, he held that trial for his son. It was more theatrical than anything else. Just to show, like, I'm punishing him, even though he's my son. You know? That weakened his career. He completely lost his status as the favorite to become Minister of Magic and all that.
And his wife, right, got sick because of their son, from seeing all of that.
And he just goes there and manages to get a visit in Azkaban. Because of his high position, he manages to visit his son in Azkaban, which was something that didn't usually happen. Right. So, he goes and he accepts his wife's request, who was like on the verge of death, to get their son out of Azkaban, and she would take his place. Then they take the polyjuice potion, switch places. She stays in his place, disguised as him, and dies right there. Yes.
It's in his form, and Barty Crouch Sr. brings him out and keeps him under restraining spells and an invisibility cloak.
So, that's how he escapes from Azkaban. That's not shown in the movie. No.
Yeah, he shows up as a completely random character.
Where did he come from, right? Where did this guy come from, you know? How did he escape from Azkaban? If he escaped from Azkaban, how was it not reported?
You get it? It's like that. The ending there. Like, and what happens to him?
Yeah, we went to see the re-release of Goblet of Fire in theaters now, and I saw how the movie makes the whole polyjuice potion thing really clear, right? When you stop to look at several moments, yeah, wow, it starts with Moody drinking it. Yes, the first scene with Moody, when he comes in, he already grabs the thing and drinks it. Because they make it really clear. What is he drinking? I'm sure it's not pumpkin juice.
Right? That's because Moody, in the book, he doesn't, like, it's something really clever. Because Moody doesn't drink anything from anywhere else. He only drinks from his own flask, so it's normal to see him with his own flask, right? And man, I think he's really treated unfairly. Really unfairly. Like, no, his story, which is the main point there in Callus Cale Fogo, that's how it all happened. How did Voldemort learn about the Triwizard Tournament to make that plan? You know, Bertha Jorkins is cut. This whole part, which explains the mechanism of how Voldemort returns to power. is simply cut.
In Order of the Phoenix, when Azkaban is blown up and all the Death Eaters escape, Rodolphus Lestrange escapes together with Bellatrix, doesn't he? He does. And he's not a character either who... No, he's not even... I don't even know if he's mentioned.
Not mentioned.
No, he's Bellatrix's husband, man.
Not mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, it's a character that has to show up. It's porn. Yeah. Damn, right? There's also that, right?
Yeah, but they didn't love each other, right? They just married for... Yeah.
To keep the... but it's the guy, Rodolfo Lestrange. But, man, it's weird because I was watching, you know, because Bellatrix is a black man. So when the name Lestrange showed up in Fantastic Beasts, everyone was like, Bellatrix is relative, Bellatrix is relative. No, she was related to Rodolfo Lestrange. It has nothing to do with Bellatrix.
I started imagining like this. Rodolfo. I like when someone gets with my wife, you know? Like those, you know? Swinger couple.
On the Tinder team, couple looking for new experiences.
Couple wants fun.
No, then he went right after Voldemort. That's creativity. He instantly liked the guy who resembled a snake. To go even further, but look, Rodolfo Lestrange, Barton Crouch, and George Warner are others. Now we're in this first season of the Harry Potter series. Professor Quirrell himself, I don't think it's something that doesn't, the fact that they show the story of how he took this sabbatical year from Hogwarts, well, Quirrell, no defense against the dark arts teacher, stays in the position for more than a year. But Professor Quirrell, he doesn't say that he doesn't
He selected...
study of muggles. And then he took a sabbatical year, spent a year there trying to look for traces and everything. Well, he always thought of himself as a very insecure guy. Professor Quirrell, you know. Well, Professor Quirrell. And then he takes this year here. I want to be the wizard who will be remembered for... I still don't believe that Voldemort is completely dead. I'm still looking for small traces. And the guy finds them. And then he finds them, and it's really cool how a guy like Quirrell, it's like, it's a quest.
In the arts.
Of the dark arts?
He seeks in the dark arts a greatness he didn't have, you know? And Quirrell is from Ravenclaw House.
Right? Yeah, Ravenclaw. When he
studied at
Hogwarts, yeah, people say there's no dark wizard who wasn't in Slytherin. Yeah. Dude, and the series is going to give more value to the other Hogwarts houses like that. I hope so. It will. I feel like it because I don't think it's just going to be Gryffindor and Slytherin, Gryffindor and Slytherin. It doesn't have to be.
They have to give some...
Really expand it, an expansion, but Quirrell is also this character who...
I think he was a bit shortchanged. The teachers, I think we also have teachers who, I don't know, only show up from the Chamber of Secrets on, like Sprout. Wow, like Sprout, she only shows up from the Chamber of Secrets on, and they already have herbology class 3 times a week in their first year. You know? Yeah, that study routine was a bit lacking, right? Like, if you look at Philosopher's Stone, there's that scene.
Then it cuts to Snape's class scene. Then it cuts to Professor McGonagall's class scene. And we don't really see what they're learning or studying, right? Man, Flitwick is also really underrated, dude. Flitwick is...
total comic relief. Remember when there were articles back then? Remember those books that made you fall in love?
Sprout picked up a fake tweet, right? The publisher really messed up.
Dude, man, was it Bloomsbury or was it was Bloomsbury? Yeah, I don't remember. I think it was published here first. It must be from the United Kingdom. Bloomsbury.
They picked up a fake tweet there and said that Flitwick had a thing, was in love with Sprout, man. And Flitwick in the books, he's not a dwarf, right? He's just a short man, right? He's really short. He's really short because of his goblin ancestry.
Right? He's mixed between, not directly mixed, but at some point in his family, there's a marriage between a goblin and a wizard. Wow. So, that's why he's a bit shorter. Man, but he's underrated because Flitwick is a dueling champion.
He's a wizard.
Extremely talented, and they only use him for comic relief. It's true. And the thing is, in these situations, for example...
Thin line, right? Of blowing himself up. It's a habit that... Yes, but Sinha doesn't blow himself up, man, in his books.
And that was the whole movie, right? The whole movie.
Right? It became a joke for the character, making him keep blowing up there. Exactly. And then it's something I say, damn, man, is the character really just reduced to that? Yeah, there are characters that, you know what I feel... that they don't know what to do with that character. And then, let's say, even though Seamus has those funny scenes, Dino Thomas has nothing. Yeah, Dino Thomas is like...
all he does is turn his neck a few times. you know?
And the Remembrall, right? He asks about the Remembrall in Philosopher's Stone too. Man, I already mentioned this in a video on the channel once a long time ago, that one of the weirdest scenes for me in the history of the movies is when Voldemort gives that laugh in Deathly Hallows Part 2, you know? And then right after that, they film Dean Thomas and he's trying not to laugh. Guys, Deathly Hallows, play it. Voldemort is about to laugh. And the next shot is Dean Thomas trying to laugh. No, seriously, there's no way not to laugh, you know? So I think that, yeah, speaking of this, of course, we can't talk about the most wrong characters without mentioning Lord Voldemort, right? Nerfed Voldemort, wow, but it's like this.
On another level of being nerfed.
Man, I think one of the coolest things about movies is getting to know the villain's backstory. For sure. Like,
How he became
evil, how he changed his appearance. There's nothing about Voldemort's past in the movies, man. Man, seriously.
He only killed Moaning Myrtle.
All right? But I think it's cool because the series can explore that.
He has no motivation. Okay. His motivation is, wow, I want to purge the no.
I want to kill. You know what he does? You want to kill teenagers? Yeah, and not because they don't explain the prophecy very well. They don't explain it well, man. Voldemort's past, you know? Everything involving his past. And so he ends up with no clear motivation.
He's wrong too.
How afraid he was of dying, right? And I think the first season of Philosopher's Stone is going to explore that really well because they brought in Nicolas Flamel, exactly, to talk about immortality, right? Bless you, boo-boo. But no, it's okay, yeah, to talk about this.
Take a Benegri, Pedro.
To talk about this immortality of Flamel versus the immortality of Voldemort. Because he wants to be immortal for power. Yeah. He wants to be immortal for knowledge.
Yes, it is.
I actually think Voldemort is pretty misunderstood, man. And look at what we're talking about. We haven't even started talking about characters yet. In other words, we talked about some secondary, even tertiary characters here, right? Like Dean, Seamus. Yeah, we haven't even started talking about the main ones yet. Wow, there are still the main ones. We're talking about the main ones here, you know? Like, come on. Voldemort is the villain of the story.
Yeah, we mentioned that. It's what we talked about at the beginning of the episode. If we stop to think about adaptation, all the characters were, yes, a bit wronged, yes. But now talking about Voldemort, even more so. And you know who I think was the most wronged? Teenage Voldemort. Way more than adult Voldemort. Because teenage Voldemort, what did he do after graduating from Hogwarts? He was already looking for the Horcruxes. What did he work with, man?
The real origin, how he was born, you know? From the orphanage. His birth.
Do you understand? Like, this whole thing.
The Gaunts?
Right? That was really it. He was searching for his roots, you know? He was a kid who grew up in an orphanage, without love, without anything. And then, when he finds out he's a wizard, he's like, I knew I was special in some way, you know? So he tries to make up for something he never had. You get it? So that's really missing. It doesn't show. No, really.
It only shows up in the... It doesn't mean it's not there. It doesn't mean he didn't already have a predisposition for it.
Yeah, but man, I can't. There's no way I can give any diagnosis there. Because I'm not even in the medical field or anything. But, like, in the movie, it just seems like Voldemort was always a little psychopath. And he was always like that, obviously.
He is. It's not that things justify what he did, right? No, it's not that the circumstances justify his actions, but he is shaped by everything he went through. He is shaped.
And it's no use for us to say, Voldemort is evil just because he's evil.
It's not like that. Anyone saying Voldemort is evil just because he's evil didn't understand Harry Potter.
Man, it's just like Anakin. Come on, is there anything cooler than Darth Vader's development? And look, even Revenge of the Sith didn't really develop it. Like, I think it seemed like he was convinced to join the Sith way too easily, right? Yeah, but I think there's still a lot more to explore. And I think a lot of people say Voldemort doesn't have love because I don't think it was because of the love potion, you know? No, it was. But, like, it's really cool to mention that, you know, the anagram part in Chamber of Secrets is way cooler when you remember that Voldemort didn't want to have the same name as his father. Exactly. Because his father was a muggle.
Exactly. And, like, you know...
He created the anagram. I am Lord Voldemort. Yeah, Lord, the anagram is exactly because of that, man.
No. And if you stop to listen to people, you'll ask, hey, why was Voldemort like that? Because he was incapable of love.
He wasn't incapable of love, physically. He wasn't physically incapable of loving. That's a misinterpretation. He didn't understand. He was incapable of understanding love because it was something he never had. So, for him, it's weakness. It's not that he was physically incapable of loving, biologically incapable of loving. That wasn't it. In fact, Dumbledore even says, Harry asks, "You knew, right?" at the time, and then Dumbledore says,
I've just met the most powerful wizard of no.
I had no idea.
By the way, that line is in the trailer.
In the trailer.
From the first Harry the Half-Blood Prince trailers, I thought, wow, that's really cool.
It's really cool.
You see the potential of Half-Blood Prince, man. Exactly. Half-Blood Prince is going to be one of the best, if not the best season of the Harry Potter series, and the most if they do it.
The most anticipated. Everyone, man.
Yeah. Wow, totally. Because it's the movie that brought the most. Before coming here to record today's reserve session, I was thinking about the adaptations, you know? And I realized that back when I used to watch the movies at 11 or 12 years old, I didn't care much. The first movie that made me go, whoa, was Prisoner. It was the first movie that really brought bigger cuts to the story.
And a lot of changes, too.
A lot of changes. So you started to notice the cuts more. Kale, be careful, my friend. Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince are the combo with a lot of cuts. Then Deathly Hallows comes in and adjusts things, right? Brings back Bill and Fleur even though they'd already appeared, you know? That wasn't really necessary.
You broke my train of thought when I mentioned Waldemar.
Now, what was the train of thought?
I've forgotten what I was saying, thanks to you.
This is an era of oops, my bad.
No, I was talking about Waldemar being incapable of loving. That's a misinterpretation. So, that's when Dumbledore says, right? If he had been raised by his mother, if he had love, maybe Waldemar wouldn't exist? And those who think people are bad just because they're bad in Harry Potter, period. Man, it's about choices. And those choices are shaped by all their experiences, you know? So much so that one of the main points of the saga is,
it's not our abilities that show who we are. It's our choices.
No one is born a certain way. A person is shaped, right? Man is born good. Grandpa Avada Kedavra.
Corum, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's really unfair for Waldemar to just be labeled as a villain just because he's a villain, period. You get it? I think it takes away a lot from the character's structure, something that's really rich and complex. And that also applies to Snape. Snape is wronged in the movies, and I say that with absolute certainty. He's wronged because he's romanticized. Because if Snape is in the series the way he is in the books, man, Snape is an unbearable character. He's intolerable. He's cruel. He's a jerk to the students, you know? And then, later, when we start discovering his story, we begin to understand the whole complexity of the character, the whole context that was built around him, what led him to become who he is. That way, we start to understand everything. His redemption, at the end, carries much more weight. Tomorrow much greater.
The biggest proof that Snape was romanticized is that they removed the scene from the memories where he insults Lily, calling her a mudblood, and it was filmed. Why is that? The guys saw the scene and said, we won't show it. Because maybe thinking about the future, thinking that Snape is going to be the big hero, I don't know if it makes sense to put that scene in for people to get mad at him.
Draco called everyone a mudblood, and people love Draco and really romanticize him too, even at the end. Even though he demonstrates some regret.
But then there's the importance of the actors who are playing the characters. Exactly. Bellatrix is loved because she was played by Helena Bonham Carter.
It's the same thing with Snape. The character is
Felton,
not Draco. The character, of course, is a super complex character. For me, Snape is the best developed character in Harry Potter.
In terms of the book?
You mean in the book? Okay, he's the most developed character.
Yeah, because the story revolves around something about him, right? The final chapters of the last book revolve around the sacrifice, right?
About redemption.
Right? About Snape's redemption, right?
So, I think he was treated unfairly. And notice that I'm using here a scale of injustice, not just for the character who was cut, not just for the character who was trimmed, but also for the character who was pushed too far in one direction.
That was the case with Hermione. That was the case with Snape, you know? They were characters who were really romanticized. Like, not romanticized in Hermione's case, but you know, along the same lines, right? Snape was really romanticized. Really romanticized in the movie. A lot, you know? Like, am I saying the movie is bad? No. Am I saying it doesn't work in the movie? No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just talking in comparison to the book, you know? Compared to the book, if you really analyze it, the character is very different. In the movie, he just seems grumpy, you know?
But when you say that Snape was, I think right? That can be left for another episode. But like the romanticized part, but don't you think that the story, even in Sorcerer's Stone, already leads us to like him, in quotes, because of that? Everyone suspects Snape, blah, blah, blah.
Diego, but then, you know, then.
Wasn't it Snape then? Snape was trying to save me.
So, the movie makes us feel that way. The book doesn't. In the book, he mistreats everyone.
No, I agree.
He mistreats people all the time.
The scene with Hermione's teeth.
Right? So, at the end, there in Sorcerer's Stone, when Harry says, Snape was trying to protect me, it's another surprise. Because, man, he was mistreated the whole year.
You know? Yeah, that's it.
He was mistreated the whole year. So, in the book, the feeling is kind of like, wow, Snape was trying to protect. Uh-huh. That's weird. That's weird. Okay. Did you get it? It's not like, wow, look at Snape. How nice he is, huh? Yeah. It's not that, you know?
Because when they reach the Chamber of Secrets, Snape is already scolding them.
Exactly. Always eager to act, to make things happen. Do you see? That's why I say he was humanized and romanticized in the movie. They made it too light.
But I love how, man...
Prisoner of Azkaban. I think that's Snape's moment. In the books, when he gets upset when Sirius escapes. That's true. Did you understand that? Because
he wanted revenge, man.
It's my chance to get revenge now. Shut up, you idiot. You don't understand anything. Like, even having the proof, you know? Pettigrew right in front of them. Like, man, Shut up, you idiot. You don't understand anything. Don't talk about what you don't understand.
Because what eats at him is his teenage years and what he went through with the Marauders back then, you know?
You know, he doesn't even want to hear the truth anymore, you know? So, yeah.
He's not focused on the truth. He's trying to heal from childhood and teenage trauma.
Yeah, exactly. He wants revenge. So it's a thing, man. Like, he telling the school that Lupin was a werewolf, you know?
In class there, right?
No, in class. But in the book, he tells the Slytherin students. He tells them.
Because he couldn't turn in Sirius. Because of all the frustration there. He says it. He reveals that Lupin was a werewolf.
That's why he has to be fired from the school. For that whole situation, you know? That's why Lupin resigns, you know?
And so, throughout the year, he keeps trying to make people...
Let's make it clear that it was Snape, right? When Lupin just leaves, man, and Hogwarts lost a great teacher, you know? What a great teacher. Oh, I love Remus Lupin. For me, he's my favorite Marauder, right? Yours is Sirius, right? But for me, it's Lupin because I think he is... I don't know if it's because of the actor who played Lupin because I really like him. I think the actor who plays Lupin was one of the best castings in all the movies. Harry's relationship with him worked out really well, right?
It turned out really well.
There's a really strong chemistry, and I think we're missing a little more from Lupin. I want to see that in the third season too. Him hurting a little from seeing Harry there. That it hits him in a way that reminds him of James. Like, I don't know, show Lupin with his eyes full of tears as an Easter egg. Harry doesn't need to ask, Professor, why are you crying? Not exactly crying, right? More like emotional. But still, he's crying. But show it, you know, because Lupin, yes. Man, it's painful. He lost his best friend, right?
Yeah, exactly. The Marauders themselves, they're also really done dirty. The story was completely cut out.
Peter Pettigrew, his death, what could be more unfair than that? The guy regrets it at the last moment. Well, he doesn't really regret it, but he
takes a second.
He hesitates, right? Man, the second the guy hesitates to kill Harry, the silver hand already, you know, it already strangles Peter Pettigrew himself. And it's so silly. The scene in the movie is so silly. It's ridiculous. So silly.
You know, it's not silly.
It's ridiculous. Dobby does this, you know? Ugh. No, it's really ridiculous. I hate that scene, man.
That's how he does it.
Seriously, man. And little Dobby up there, upstairs, but it's who?
That had his wand? Man, dude. Yeah, it's messed up.
That's it. So the Marauders, total injustice. They really got done dirty, obviously, right? They were really wronged. Yes, the biggest ones. About Sirius?
You know,
The Prisoner of Azkaban is the movie that highlights Sirius. You get it? He himself is super wronged, because his story is all chopped up. Yeah, you get it? All chopped up.
His mother there at Grimmauld Place, when they meet his mother, man, I think they talked way too little about the fact that his family just didn't care about him, you know, from the moment he started fighting for different ideals. And, like, it's bizarre.
It's bizarre. Now, do you want to see who's even more wrong than the Marauders?
Who?
It's Regulus, who shows up in a photo. Wow, they put Regulus in a photo, and Slughorn says, Regulus, it's your.
Just to talk about RAB, right?
You must have heard of his brother Sirius. Regulus died a few weeks ago.
Man, bro, it's surreal. Like, the story of Regulus Black is one of the coolest.
Really cool.
And Kreacher, his relationship with Kreacher, the fact that he tried to destroy the Horcrux, man, the guy is a real hero, in his own way, of course. An anti-hero, right? Yeah, it's something like, but it's amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I think these characters give such a cool weight to Slytherin, you know, to the Slytherin house, that they take away the stigma from the house, you know? Yeah, and they're completely... Regulus, Kreacher, man, Kreacher is also really, really underrated and really mistreated. He has a really cool story there to be told and explored, which was also cut. You know what I mean?
Man, it's Kreacher. They only put Kreacher in Order of the Phoenix because they were going to cut him. I don't know if you remember, right? And they were going to cut Kreacher. Then J.K. Rowling told them, no, you can't cut him.
But they won't. But he's going to stay.
But it wasn't like that. She was like that, right? Yes. No, you can't cut him because in the next one, he's going to be very important.
Exactly, yeah.
And man, yeah, it's really, even in the Half-Blood Prince, he helps with Dobby there to chase, not chase, to spy. No, to spy on Draco too.
That's true, that's true.
Dobby with Kreacher.
That's true, that's true. He and Dobby get into a fight.
The kitchen scene will be awesome, right?
Yeah, wow, what an awesome character.
Dobby
is really mistreated. Man, Dobby shows up. No.
is the most mistreated one in this episode.
Okay, no. Here's the thing with Dobby. He shows up in Chamber of Secrets and gets a lot of focus.
It's absurd what they do to Dobby.
And then he only shows up again to die.
Obviously, we're going to have to create, hey guys, if you were devastated by Dobby's death, which I think every fan did, it only comes from the movie. If you've only seen the movie, if the movie had included Dobby every time he was supposed to show up again, whether in Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince, his death would have hit much harder. He was always there to help Harry, Bill Weasley, man, in Goblet of Fire.
Exactly.
Let's put it in Neville's hands. It's Dobby who talks about the Room of Requirement. Yeah.
Let's go with Neville. Yeah, because Neville
Doesn't have it. Neville
doesn't have a story to develop, right? No, come on. His story isn't worth developing. Let's take what's Dobby's and give it to him.
Look, I was keeping calm in this episode until I remembered Dobby.
Man, I didn't want to say anything.
No, Dobby, man. The Marauders passed, whatever. But no, just kidding. But Dobby, guys, man, it's surreal because in Goblet of Fire, he helps Harry with the gillyweed. In Order of the Phoenix, he helps Harry with the Room of Requirement. In Half-Blood Prince, he and Kreacher spy on Draco for Harry. And in Deathly Hallows, everything we already know too, he saves Harry and everything and dies. He dies and is absent only in Philosopher's Stone and Prisoner of Azkaban.
Exactly. He's in all the rest.
He's in all of them, man. And then
In the movie, the guy said CGI was too expensive.
just leave it, man. Who cares? But that's how the movie is, right? They live, man, but I don't get it. I really don't get it. It's really like J.K. Rowling didn't look and say, guys, at least in some other movie, put it in. Man, you want to tell me CGI is expensive? That's the biggest excuse ever.
Sorry, for God's sake, those guys have a huge budget. Sorry.
It doesn't make sense.
Man, no. And Harry Potter was already a big hit.
David Heyman. Dobby won't appear in Goblet of Fire and all, and Winky either because of the budget. Then you see that two Dobbys show up on top of two Dobbys, two house elves, two elves on top of the camel there.
No, that's a frame that's really cheap to make, right? But man, much cheaper than the...
But I don't know the budget level, okay? Nowadays, just put it in, man. Put it in.
I'm not kidding. Stop it. Are you crazy? I'm kidding. No, it's... The guy, I think these choices, these approvals came a lot from I think she didn't have total control, you know? Like, over things. So, there were things she couldn't not approve, you know? I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Let's take an example here of a wronged character, just picking up on what you just said. Dumbledore himself, right? When they were writing the script for the Half-Blood Prince, Steve Kloves put a line in the script saying that Dumbledore was in love with a woman.
With a girl.
Yeah, with a woman. And then she goes and crosses out that part of the script and says, guys,
Dumbledore is gay. Don't put he really is.
that's it, guys. Don't say that Dumbledore was in love with a woman because he was in love with that blonde guy back in the mustache days. Perfectly groomed mustache, man. So Dumbledore's story, especially his sexual orientation, was also poorly explored in the movie.
Completely.
Okay, it was a detail revealed after the books were released. Exactly.
While the movie was being scripted, she said, don't include it. Before revealing it to the public, she repeated, don't include it.
Exactly. So I think that the story of Dumbledore and Grindelwald is really cool.
It's really cool.
It's really cool. It's a shame that the little we saw of this story was handled in a really clumsy way in Fantastic Beasts now, right? Because Dumbledore deserved a series just for him or a movie just for him. It's not enough. You want to mix Dumbledore's story with Newt's, but in the end, you don't really tell either story, right? It's something that, and I think this whole thing with Grindelwald, Dumbledore's fascination with the Deathly Hallows, it's all of that. Yeah, it took away some of the impact of this character, such a complex character as Dumbledore, who many even consider to be the real villain of the story, right? Which is kind of like the manipulator, as if everyone was just a puppet there. And John Lithgow is going to know how to do that really well because the guy was simply the serial killer in Dexter. I mean, he was Churchill.
Dude.
I want him to bring that kind of side to Dumbledore, you know? Something like, I'm a nice guy, I'm a good guy, but I have a side, damn it, it's a side.
I wouldn't even say manipulative. It's a very analytical side, you know? Very analytical and a bit cold. But then that's conflicting for him too. Because he even says it himself, Dumbledore, when he's about to reveal, the moment that for me was Dumbledore's peak was when he was telling Harry about the prophecy.
King, the Order of the Phoenix.
Damn, right there in the book.
It says right on the cover, it's time for me to tell you everything you should have known years ago. 12 years, 12 years.
And then 12, no, in the last 14 years.
Wow, and then, man, that line in Order of the Phoenix.
Damn. And then, simply, it's something that they nerfed in the movie.
No, they really nerfed that conversation, man, because Dumbledore says, Harry, I know how you feel, you don't know. That's it. Then another 30 seconds of silence. They just complement each other now. The dialogue feels like Stranger Things Season 5. One finishes the other sentences. That means, yeah, you have to kill the other one, blah, blah, blah. And that's it, man. Even though the book has a whole chapter called The Prophecy, and it's about 25 pages long.
Harry breaking his office, breaking things, and he's saying, go ahead and break it. I think I have.
Too many things.
And Harry gets even angrier, like wanting him to fight back, right? And then Dumbledore says, hey, I think you need to listen to me because your reaction isn't even close to what it could be if you hear what I have to say. Like, you know, taking the blame for the whole thing. And then he starts explaining all this. And he says, hey, you arrived. I left you with the Dursleys and all that. Even though they were a horrible family, but because I knew I had to do that to keep you safe. And then you arrived. You were amazed by magic. You were amazed by Hogwarts, and you found yourself. And right there, I should have told you, but I couldn't. To me, you were still too young. And then you faced challenges I never imagined you would face, like facing Voldemort, right? Back in your first year. And then your second year came, and I was determined. Well, 12 is a bit more than 11, so I thought you were ready to know. But then all the tribulations came, everything, and I still didn't have the courage to tell you. Prisoner of a then, he goes on saying, damn. And then he says, so it got to a point where I couldn't tell you anymore, because I developed a fondness, an affection for you that wasn't part of the plan. Do you understand? For me, what did it matter if creatures, people far from me were going to die? As long as you would be safe, you would be okay? So, this thing about Dumbledore is very important to mention because he's portrayed as manipulative, as cold, as this, as that. He did have a plan. He was trying to carry out the plan, but in his plan, he makes mistakes by not sticking to such a cold, calculated plan. Because, as he himself says to Snape, don't tell me you've grown fond of the boy. That happens to him, you know. Harry, for him, right at the beginning of everything, when Voldemort suffered his first downfall and all, Harry was just a chess piece. That's it. It's not that he didn't care. It's not that he didn't feel sad about the Potter's situation, right? But he saw everything as a big chessboard. Like, wow, did that really happen?
Yeah, actually, for example, even during the time Harry went to live with the Dursleys, it wasn't like, I'm not worried if the boy is suffering or not. I'm more concerned maybe with solving the big mystery of why he survived the killing curse.
Exactly.
Or if Voldemort still had a chance to come back. Because,
Like, the Dursleys. What he went through with the Dursleys was nothing compared to what would happen if Voldemort got him, you know?
yes.
You know? So, yeah, it was a necessary evil, especially because Dumbledore, he laid everything out in a letter and all. He had no idea. He knew it could be bad, but he had no idea it would be that bad, you know? With both the Dursleys.
That letter, it's really important if you stop to think about it, because it talks about the protection that he's going to live with the Dursleys precisely because he still has the blood bond.
Every vacation.
He has to go back and never send Harry away.
He never says that in the movies.
So much so, guys, it's really cool this first letter that Dumbledore leaves for Petunia, that in Order of the Phoenix, when the Dursleys kick Harry out of the house, immediately a letter from Dumbledore arrives saying, from him, Howler. Remember the last one. Remember the last one. Because he was trying to say, remember the last letter I wrote you? Yeah, you can't let the boy leave.
This has to be explored in the series.
Man, damn, it's really cool.
This needs to be explored.
And Dumbledore entering the Dursleys' house and he's like a prince, man.
That's it, man.
That's it. And with his attitude just sitting there.
Conjuring the cups and the cups hitting the heads of both Dursleys because they don't accept it. Really, it would be more polite if you accepted the drink.
Yeah, we can say then that the other wronged character was Petunia.
The Dursleys.
The Dursleys. Yeah, the Dursleys in general too.
Yes, the Dursleys.
Man, we're going to
Get into that. Some movies even have them removed.
Goblet of Fire, which has one of the coolest scenes of them going there to get Harry through the chimney. Yeah.
Man, but I think in terms of what you said, Pet, the Dursleys in general, but I think Petunia, in terms of character depth, was really treated unfairly.
It's just that Vernon, he's there.
Vernon doesn't have that same kind of impact. Like, wow.
My God. It's just that Petunia is genuinely jealous of her sister, and who wouldn't, right?
Magon.
No. She has to visit her sister and go to Hogwarts, but you don't. We just listen without judging. That's right, guys. That's exactly how it is with Petunia. Because I would also be watching my brother live a wizard's life and everything, and I'm just there. She writes, isn't that great? Yeah, so that's why she's like that. Guys, just imagine this. Your sister is going to Hogwarts, you're jealous, but more than that, she writes a letter. Petunia writes a letter to Dumbledore. Man, to get to that point, man.
She wants to study at Hogwarts.
Dude, you're really, upset.
Dude, yeah, no, it's not. Don't go there, man. In that Snape memory scene, she's like, it's weird.
You're weird. Yeah, that's right.
You know?
And they kind of call her Petunia, that one there. But until you explain that, you have to remember that she's Petunia, Harry's aunt. Uh-huh. I missed a lot, man. Yeah, no. Yeah, in terms of its envy.
Bro, you're special and she's ordinary. That's how it is. It's true.
Right? It's envy. It's Snape, right? Who says that, young Snape, sis, bro? Wow, this kid is really wild now.
Look at him, all grown up.
This kid nowadays. Hey, Eric, put up a picture. There's a really cool picture of, oh, hey, Eric, no. Put up a picture of Snape and of the actor who played Snape, the younger one from Deathly Hallows, and of Lily when she was young. Man, if we stop to think about it, they're in their 20s. No, the time they filmed Deathly Hallows, 2010. So we're talking about 16 years ago already. Yeah. They're already old. Something really funny happened the other day, right? I said, wow, man, Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint are already almost 40. Then I said,
what am I going to see?
I said, wow.
Look at these. Frozen in time, Peter Pan.
I said, wow, look at these guys. They're nearly 40, damn.
And
I was their age.
we don't realize how age creeps up on us, right, man? It just arrives.
Do you think we'll see a time when content creators are over 50 years old? Because I can't imagine myself stopping,
Like us creating content, yeah.
Because we live in the age of influencers of content creation. Yeah, I said that exactly because of the actors' ages, right? But us too. The series will end if it lasts from 2027 to 2037, guys. Leave it down here in the comments. How old will you be in 2037, which in theory is the date of the last season of the Harry Potter series. I'll start with me. 47 years old. Yeah, 2037, we were born in 90.
I was born in 91.
You'll be 46. Damn, 46 years old, man.
Am I turning 35 this year?
No, you're turning 36 this year? No. Yeah, damn. If it's one more year, I'm turning 36.
I was born in 91.
You're turning 35, I'm turning 36 this year.
It's true. The guys already have Alzheimer's, you know? The guys, yeah.
I'm actually turning 36. You 35.
Man, but I don't know if I'll still be creating content until the end of the series, if I'm still alive.
Yeah, no, that's right.
I will be.
Yes.
But I don't know. After the series,
That's what I say. I want to have my moment to enjoy things as a human. It's not possible, man.
to retire. No.
Well, to retire peacefully and be able to enjoy things like, just as a fan, that's the thing, because after the Harry Potter series, do you think Harry Potter is going to stop there? Never. There will be a lot more stuff announced, more. So we're going to have to go, man.
The guys coming in with their little canes. Today, I don't know if I'm reserved. I swear, solemnly. No, I'm reserved. You said it right, Diego. Dude,
But after today, if I don't accept being reserved, people will figure out my technique. I know how to speak both ways.
dude, I don't know if we... Well, yeah.
Anyway, that's how it is. I completely got off topic, but it's because I'm curious about how we'll be in our generation as elderly people, you know?
Elderly people.
Elderly people. But I'm still young. I'll leave thinking about that for the future. I think I watched a really good movie, by the way, that I wanted to recommend in this episode. No, it's called Perfect Days. Perfect Days is about a guy who finds... This movie is really cool. It's a Korean movie, but it's about a guy who kind of finds purpose in his routine, in the small things. And there's a line in the movie that's really good where she says, "Why don't we go check out that place?" He says, "Today is today." He says, "Today is today." Then I forgot the line.
But all right.
He says, "Today is today." And next time is next time. Like next time was next time. He's kind of a guy who lives in the moment, man. So, man, why don't we do it? He says, "Today is today," like next time is next time. And damn, it's one of those phrases that I thought was really cool for what the movie wants to convey. So here's the recommendation.
Speaking of movies different from the topic here, I'm going to mention that there are 2 actors from Harry Potter in it, which Risa, my wife, recommended to me and I had never seen before.
And I watched it with her and ended up crying my eyes out.
Cry?
About time, right? About time? Yeah.
I've seen that movie. It's wonderful. It's the one with his father.
Bill Nighy and...
And the actor who plays Guy Weasley,
Yeah, the actor who plays Guy Weasley. Man, this movie is insane. What's his name?
he's Gleason's son, right? Domhnall Gleeson, right?
Dohan Gleeson.
He's the son of Brendan Gleeson. Man, no, guys.
This movie is a time travel movie, which you already like. That says you don't say it's a time travel movie. But it's a movie. Man, I cried my eyes out.
In this movie. This movie will make you cry your eyes out. And I think the guy is an amazing actor, right? The guy, and he is very versatile, this actor. If he returned to the series as another character, I wouldn't complain.
So the rumor is that he's going to be Islam Slughorn, right? Because he was in the audiobook.
I wouldn't complain because he's really good and he's versatile. Like he was Davy Jones in Pirates of the Caribbean. Right.
Until my death.
Man, this movie is so good, dude. I really miss the trilogy in Pirates of the Caribbean, man.
Trilogy. The other 2 movies. Trilogy. The other 2 that's all that matters.
Sorry.
I like the other 2. They're much inferior, but I like them. I just...
Like canceled the sequels to Pirates of the Caribbean and I said,
Pirata, kiss, my friend. Your turn.
no, and go back to that scene. I still say Pirates of the Caribbean.
Of the Caribbean. In Portugal, it's Caribe, you know?
Seriously? It's true. Are you kidding? It's just that my family's Portuguese.
Now I'm trying to act bilingual.
Pirates of the Caribbean? Is that the name? Yeah.
Want to see? Caraíba, Caraíba, Cariba or Caraíba. Over there, look.
Yes, Cariba or Caribes. Caraibas refers to the indigenous people originating from the region that gave its name to the Caribbean.
Look, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Caraíbas.
I liked it. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean. I was in love with the trilogy. The trilogy. It's just that I haven't seen the other 2, to be honest, man.
You haven't seen Thalatar's Revenge.
No, man, and not even the one. That's the one with that rocker from the Rolling Stones, right?
They all have, right? Or no, the one with Keith Richards. He shows up. He shows up in the 3rd one. He's Jack's father, right? Okay.
Okay.
It's cool.
Because they're saying the 6th one is coming out. They're talking about it. Did you see? Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to happen.
They're already doing it, right? They'll give Johnny Depp a blank check to return. For sure. Sorry.
Mr. Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp. I'm not coming back.
But I'm really not coming back. Wow. But yeah, I'm saying they're writing the script for the next one. There was even that speculation that it was going to be Margot Robbie, right? As the lead. But no, they're writing the script and Johnny Depp's character is in the script. So Jack Sparrow, they're going to offer him a huge amount of money for him to come back.
There, 2,000 reais net and meal allowance.
No, that's just him talking, trying to set himself up for the rest of his life. I don't know.
Not that he doesn't need it.
No, yeah, that's right. But man, look, another character who got done dirty here. Let me think. We've only mentioned really good ones, you know? Yeah.
I said I was going to mention 2 characters who got done dirty and blah. I said I was going to mention a character who got done dirty, and I didn't, which is Bill Weasley, bringing up the actor from About Time, my brother Carlinhos.
Man, Carlinhos is a...
He showed up in the newspaper photo.
No, I think it's absurd, really. The scene is really absurd. The scene where Bill arrives with Fleur in Deathly Hallows, man.
I'm Bill Weasley.
Ow. And this is Fleur. Remember her from the tournament? We got married. We're getting married. No, yeah, it's a lack of tact even with the audience that consumes this stuff, you know? They're admitting right there in front of you that they're jerks. What is this? No, but it's true. It's admitting that, we could have included the characters, you know? It wouldn't have taken us 3 minutes to put them in the other movies, but now we have to do this crappy scene.
Bill has appeared since Goblet of Fire, and he's such a cool character. I love the moments with Bill, because he's the fully trained wizard, right? No, he's the older wizard. He's already graduated. He works. He has long hair. He wears an earring that's a claw, you know? He's super cool. He wears a dragon leather jacket. He's kind of a rocker.
That's Carlinhos, right?
No, it's Guy.
Guy wears dragon stuff too, right?
Dragon leather jacket. The whole thing. The guy works. He works as a curse breaker, you know? At Gringotts.
Movie Guy wasn't that cool if you think about it, right?
He's super nerfed.
Wow, it's because he's not even stylish, Guy Weasley.
Molly keeps saying, cut your hair. I like it this way, Mom. And his big hair, ponytail, you know?
When does Guy first appear?
The Goblet of Fire.
The first time? Doesn't he show up in the burrow scene? Isn't he at the burrow? No, not there. No, when Harry goes there, right?
He shows up in Goblet of Fire. They're at the Quidditch World Cup campsite. He's there? No.
But Charlie is there too, remember? I remember. Everyone is there.
All of them.
Everyone. Look, so you have to show it.
Charlie actually goes to Hogwarts for the dragons in the Goblet of Fire.
That's true.
My brother Carlinhos.
At the time in the forest when Harry sees the dragons, everything, right? Man, Gui and Carlinhos, that's something that... And another thing, really, I don't get these cuts, these reasons, because it wouldn't hurt. All the Weasleys have already appeared in... They're mentioned a lot, but not to the point of... Yes.
Yeah.
Development, man.
No. And if we're going to talk about Weasley, we haven't even gotten to the elephant in the room.
Percy.
No, Percy. Okay, Percy is also very poorly developed. Yeah. Very poorly developed. He has a huge depth there. The whole fight with the Weasley family. Yes. He's actually a poorly developed character. In Order of the Phoenix, he only appears holding Harry by the neck.
You can't even tell it's him. The actor's hair is all
Yeah, you don't even realize it's really him.
You don't even notice it's the guy.
Right? So, yeah, he's poorly developed. Yeah. Underused, treated unfairly. But what about Ginny Weasley?
Oh, wow.
Let's talk about the poor thing.
Man.
If we were to put it in a ranking here, poor thing.
She would be number 1?
Man, poor thing, right?
Good thing you mentioned her, you know? Because people wouldn't let us do an episode about underrated characters without Gina.
She was always on my mind from the start, but I didn't want to mention her first. Man.
Gina? Maybe... Do you think they nerfed Gina because the guys were in love with Hermione, man? No. Because the actress playing Ginny in the new series is really cool and has incredible potential to be one of the stars of the show. Of being fun.
Raisa said this about a photo I was showing on her Instagram. She said, wow, in just one photo, she has more charisma than Bonnie Wright. Man,
I say, well, you'll see in the scene where she appears on King's Cross platform, we'll have her, she'll probably have some lines. Let's give her some lines. No, I hope it's not just that, but something, she asks.
To see Harry inside the train, right? When Fred and George say, Mom, it's Harry Potter. She says, Mom, let me see him. Then Harry, well, he's not a zoo animal.
Exactly, I hope they include it. But, in general, even in the movie where she had a big role, which was the Chamber of Secrets, even in that movie, she's kind of in the background, you know? It's just that Harry...
It was me, but I didn't want to. Riddle made me do it.
Man, then, wow, it ends the fat lady.
The fat lady, she's gone.
There, that's it.
Ben has more lines than her, which is grim. What's the grim? It's not grim. It's grim, you idiot.
No, we need to talk about Ben. What a character. He wasn't wronged.
He got exactly what he deserved.
Man, Ben is simply... he's a character who doesn't exist in the books. No, Ben simply appears in Prisoner of Azkaban. He goes, it's like trying to catch smoke.
It's like catching smoke with your hands. He was seen. Who? Sirius Black. Wow, Dufftown isn't far from here.
Wow, man.
Do you really think he got into Hogwarts with Dementors at the entrances?
Dude, you know these movies by heart? Wow, Kako just reminded me of when we used to hang out with Renee and Leo Bichelle. Wow, you guys used to say all the lines. But the whole movie, man, no way, dude. I know the beginning of Sorcerer's Stone and all, but not like that.
I only recall a few of the most memorable things like
That I know. Go for it. Sometimes,
Katerina came in. Katerina turned to me and did this. Katerina is really something. I sat in the living room like, man, I worked all day. Then I sat in the living room like, wow, my back hurts so much. I leaned back on the couch, like, I was kind of out of it, you know? Then she turned to me and did this. Daddy, do you want to watch Harry Potter? Because she says Harry Potter, right? Do you want to watch Harry Potter? I turned and said, Mom, my daughter.
I'm not going, let's go.
She has something to do with it. I like to watch and go.
30 scripts.
She says like this. I love Harry Potter, but I don't like Voldemort. She says, but I don't like Voldemort. Which is, man, Voldemort is evil, right, Daddy? You can't say those three, right?
Then she says, Crucio, Avada Kedavra, Imperio. Then she says, man, she starts talking. It's like she was born talking, you know? She doesn't stop, my love. No, but why does Ron eat the flavor, right? And then it's I don't know what. And she starts talking.
I have to interrupt you to say something. Mariana Ramos, my love.
Let's do it, damn it.
Whoo. This is the greatest. It's the greatest, man. Wow, this experience of having a son and a daughter who says, let's watch Harry Potter.
She says, let's watch Harry Potter. Damn. She goes in there to mess with my stuff, my collection, and she says, who is this? Then I say the wrong name just to mess with her. I say, like, she points and I say, that's Dumbledore. Then, no, it's not. It's Hagrid, she says.
She's cute.
She's about to visit the Ministry of Magic for the first time, right?
She will. Now, wow, and she's going to ride the Hippogriff roller coaster for the first time. She's tall enough.
Now she is?
She's going to ride, and she's all...
This one is over in Hogsmeade.
It's in the Hogwarts area over there.
I didn't ride that roller coaster.
On the flight of the Hippogriff. No.
I didn't go on that roller coaster. I saw it. I only went to the attraction inside Hogwarts, the simulator, right? And I also went on the Gringotts ride with Diagonaldo and Bill Weasley, right? He shows up there. It's really good.
Yeah, that Hippogriff one, it's kind of a kid's roller coaster, family friendly, you know? It's really chill. The ride is super quick. There's no looping or anything.
By the way, Hagrid's ride is really cool.
Very.
Man, there are 2 episodes I want to record in a special session. One talking about the parks and another about Hogwarts Legacy. People are really asking for an episode just about Hogwarts Legacy, and we want to make it happen. But just quickly, going back to Ginny Weasley here.
She's so overlooked in this episode that when we reach her, we change the subject.
Change the subject. It's honestly a real shame. I think Ginny is a really cool character. Very fun, funny. She's really good at spells. Man, that's a shame, a real shame.
She has a strong, unique personality, right?
And
It's cool. And simply, as a Quidditch player, she's amazing, you know?
let them explore that side more, right? Show Ginny playing.
And her facing Ron, right? Because Ron has that older brother thing and she's the little younger sister. And she's like, just because you've never kissed anyone doesn't mean nobody else is going to kiss, you know? Nobody's going to kiss. Wow. And Ron is like, wow.
It's true. She straight up said her brother had never kissed anyone. Yeah, in the middle of the Gryffindor common room, you kissless loser. And she even kissed Harry in the middle of the common room. That's personality. Yeah, personality. You kiss because then Ron and Lavender's kiss was theirs.
It was kind of theirs, yeah. Absurd.
So guys, tragic. Many characters were wronged. I think if I were to make a ranking, if I made a top list, I would say Ginny is in first place for sure. Well, but out of everyone we talked about, yeah.
I think Gina is really underrated.
A lot.
A lot. And we definitely forgot several others here.
Right? No, it's not that we forgot. It's just that we mentioned some that are more, you know? But Man, there are characters who were so mistreated that they didn't even show up. Winky, Ink, Ludo Bagman. Wow.
Man, Ludo Bagman's dude, what a bizarre character, and he...
Even Bartemius Crouch Sr.'s story isn't told, so I think he's mistreated.
Then we get to the point of the real cut characters, right? Like Bihasa, Ludo Bagman, Ink, Professor Beans. Man, it's surreal. And Dumbledore, even his funeral, man. Dumbledore had the farewell with everyone raising their wands. It's a very beautiful scene, but it doesn't.
Dumbledore is also underrated because he's such a great character, and there's so much to know about him, and I think a lot of that gets lost in the movie.
But I think we were pretty concise with our choices. Do you have any more?
Off the top of my head, I think maybe Kroon was also pretty underrated.
He has a cool background story. He does. He's just not explored much. Fleur, for God's sake. It's Fleur Delacour. All Fleur Delacour does in the fourth movie is scream. Guys, for God's sake. Man, what is that?
Watching it, you wonder, what was this girl even chosen for? The tournament?
She screams and cries. She just screams and cries.
Because the one chosen for the tournament is the champion, the most honorable in the school, the most competent. The girl in the first task doesn't show that. In the second task, she's taken out because of the Grindylows, which happens, okay, it happens in the book. But still, she gets taken out in such a lame way.
In the third task, she simply enters the maze already desperate, claustrophobic, and then she screams. And that's it, you know? That's Fleur's summary. And when Cedric shows up dead, who's the first one to scream? Fleur de la Delacour. So that isn't in the movie. In the book, they say, right, well, she's as much a fairy tale princess as I am, the fake Moody says, right?
So she's a character who has a lot of lines. She's unfriendly, which makes Hermione angry. Besides the jealousy, of course, because she's very beautiful.
Hermione gets angry because she's like, oh, in Beauxbatons, it's so much cleaner, it's better, I don't know, They
describe her as incredibly beautiful in the books. I mean, the actress who plays Fleur is really pretty, but the way they describe her in the books, it seems like it's something out of this world. And man, I think Fleur was treated even more unfairly because they left out one of the main stories of her life, which is that she's the granddaughter of the witch from 71.
Turu.
Turu couldn't do it.
Satanas, you were waiting for the cue, weren't you? I know you were waiting for the cue. Satanas, it's you and me.
My ADHD is great because it sometimes lets me do things like this.
Did you see?
You guys must, when you said Fleur, then I said, I already remembered the theory that Witch 71 studied at Beauxbatons. Then I said, damn, I have to drop this one here, dude.
Wow, the matching outfits. No.
The theory is based on the outfits, man. What theory? And she said she had a sister who studied at...
Who was in Paris? My sister lives in Paris. I don't know what.
I love Chavez, man.
And Tiago. For sure we have more underrated characters, but I think we made a good list, man.
It's a pretty cool, considerable list.
No, totally. And it's good for us to get into this so we can see what we can expect for the development and analyze it when the series comes out.
Exactly.
Yes, let's fix it, or should we leave it as it is? Yeah, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going in.
We're entering a very dangerous environment now, which is cuts to the series. No, I stayed in the first one.
Man, you don't open your mouth to talk about series cuts here in my house. No.
Dude, man, if there's no Harry and Hagrid in the little boat going there to leaving from, I'm going to get pissed off.
From the herd, from the wedding thing.
Wedding. What the hell? The guy freaked out here live, man. Hey guys, let's go to our Howler moment. Comment below, send a message through the QR code and comment. Leave your comments if you agree with our list of wrong characters. And now let's go to our first message of the Howler moment.
Rafa, that's not what she wants. Stephanie Baldino sent the first message of the day. Do you have any scenes from the movies memorized in your head? Wow, I'm loving the podcast. You guys are awesome.
I should have known you'd be here, Professor McGonagall.
It suits you. Go. Speak up, Your Majesty. Go on.
I thought you were going to do the whole thing yourself. No, and I would do one. No, I wasn't prepared.
Okay, no problem, but I know this dialogue.
I'm not going to say anything else now. Good night, Professor. The rumors are true.
I know what they are, Professor. The good ones and the bad ones.
And the boy?
Hagrid is bringing him...
Do you think it's wise to trust a task like this to Hagrid?
Professor, I would trust my life to you. Papa.
Hagrid. Scrappy Hagrid arrives at night. The snow pizza. Wow.
Dude, snow pizza.
I have, oh, it froze. Sorry, here. I have that one.
Such a handsome boy. Don't touch him.
Harry! I almost forgot you were here. No. Standing in front of my father's bones. Wow. Yeah, I'd introduce him, but I heard he's almost as famous as I am these days. The boy who lived. How lies fed your legend. If you let me, I'll go all the way to the moment Harry gets it. Yeah.
The peak of Ralph Fiennes, right? I love this mess. They nerfed him.
I know several of no. That's right.
Boring.
You know?
Guilherme sent a message here. With the new Harry Potter series coming, what do you expect from the portrayal of Luna Lovegood? Can I answer this message with one sentence? You can. Just like Walter, justice with the little ice cream. Justice. No, we're hoping for that for all the characters, not just Luna. Wow.
For Luna specifically, I want her... Guys, no, I love Luna, okay? But I wanted her to be annoying at first. To be true to the character. To have the contrast that existed, you know? Between her and Hermione. Because Luna, she represents an open mind and all that. And Hermione is super skeptical. Everything that's in the book is what's right. So, and Luna brings a different kind of intelligence. That causes friction between them. I really wanted to see it, you know?
Friendship. I think that's how she feels like she belongs, so much so that she...
Paints friends.
In the rooms, it's...
Hers. Yeah, it's really cool. When Harry goes to Luna's house, he goes to her room.
And he sees a painting of them.
All of them connected by the word friends.
In gold, which makes a frame like this around the painting. It's really cool, man.
This person's name surprised me, and now I'm wondering if it's real or a nickname.
Let me see. Corvino Silva. No, it must be Corvino from Ravenclaw.
Right? Yeah, I think so too.
In the last season of the series, I want to see the Slytherin students fighting in the Battle of Hogwarts. I agree. I want to see that too.
And locked up in the dungeons?
Right? Because that's what happened. Some Slytherin students, even if just a few, still fought. Led by Slughorn.
Look how cool that is.
That's cool. I really wanted it.
It's really cool, right? Slytherin was really done a disservice in the movies.
Although, I'll just add something.
Keep adding to it.
Although someone might say, no, the book says that no one from Slytherin stayed. But then, Slughorn comes leading reinforcements that he went to get. And yes, there were Slytherin people fighting there.
Diaphen3 Daphne, I don't know. Daphne.
It must be Daphne.
It's Diane FN3 Die FN3 sent. Hello, dear ones. I've been following you for about 8 years and I'm loving this podcast. Your interaction is magical.
Look at that. It's planned, huh?
That's true. But thank you, Dio. We do our best here. We're very happy with the project and we hope you all keep following along too.
Thank you so much, Dio. The podcast is usually something we really enjoy recording because we chat here as if we were talking with the camera off, just as fans. So it's really fun to do. Diane Ferreira, you beautiful people. Thank you for keeping the magic alive all these years. You are amazing.
Thank you. I'm really touched here.
Man, I think this message is really cool, but you are the ones who keep the magic alive together with us.
I think it's a group of fans keeping it going, you know? That's right. So thank you very much.
This podcast is really meant to be this. Friends talking, you listen to us and feel like you're part of the conversation too. I think that's the most important thing. And the last message in today's shouting moment is from Corvinicius. Look, we had Corvino Silva and now Corvinicius.
Ravenclaw is dominating. By the way, shall we do a test?
Comment your house down below. I want to know which Hogwarts house you guys are in. And then there's a summary of the comments. There's a summary, right? You press it, and then it will tell you which house has the most people.
That's true. Say my house is from Hogwarts and so on. Let's see who's dominating. Corvinicius said, I can't believe the series will be told through Harry. Call me to theorize with you guys. Lol, 100 guys is too few. 100 guys is too few. 100 characters is too few. No, Caracas, your 100 characters. See? Hey, Corvinicius, the series is coming out. We'll have a lot of theorizing to do.
Plenty of analysis. They'll definitely cover other perspectives. Mainly Harry's, but others as well.
I'm going to surprise you and read this message, okay? Here we go. to move my friend Kako. Diego shares the final message in today's embarrassing moment segment. I went through a tough time in January, and the Calderon show helped me as psychological relief. I'm grateful.
I'm glad, my friend.
I hope things are better for you now, and I'm glad that the leaky cauldron was part of that moment as company for you.
And I think a phrase that, to wrap up, I think even today's episode that matches our friend Diego's phrase here is that happiness can be found. Even in the darkest of times, you just have to remember to turn on the light. That's it. And that's how we end today's reserved session. Thanks, everyone. We're in this together. Thanks once again. Please rate us on Spotify, comment, and like the video.
I have a protest before the video ends, because that phrase was mine, since this episode is on my channel, and Chago said it, but I'll let it slide, because he said it with a good heart, you know? Yeah.
So yeah, I used the phrase.
I liked it, good, I liked it.
All right, guys, we're in this together.
Thanks, guys, thanks.
Thanks.